Hundreds on me stuff, I'ma run it up. She gon' give it up. I'm like, what is love? Remember I was broke, ain't nobody give a fuck. Hater understand, now they love us cause we up. Hundreds on me stuff.
Okay, welcome back to another video. So, yeah, I haven't really been able to think about anything recently apart from, you know, everything that's going on in the world right now with the Black Lives Matter protest and just racism in general. And I wanted to know the reaction that would fit the times. Now, my last one I did was akala, lemar, and bugzy, and that was about the history of racism and how we've got to the point we are today, whereas this is more about the modern time and what is going on today. Now, I've already heard this like a few times because this is just an iconic, legendary track. But I wanted to do a reaction to it again, just because, you know, it's good to listen to things like this over and over again because it just reinforces points, but as well, it fits the time, and I wanted to talk about what he's saying more in it, and maybe if there's people that are watching this that haven't heard this, then it will be, you know, the first time you've heard this track. Yeah, let's get into this. This is Joyner Lucas, I'm Not Racist.
With all due respect, I don't have pity for you black niggas, that's the way I feel. Screaming Black Lives Matter, all the black guys rather be deadbeats than pay your bills. Yelling nigga this and nigga that, call everybody nigga and get a nigga mad. As soon as I say nigga, then everyone react and wanna swing at me and call me racist cause I ain't black.
So many people that think like this, honestly. I'm speaking from experience. I know people that think like this. There is so many people that think like this, and yeah, it's sad.
We'll pound that then. Talking about slavery like you was around back then. Like you was picking cotton off the fucking ground back then. Like you was...
it's like I want to argue with this guy now, but I know later on in the track the black guy will just do everything and say everything I want to say, so I think I'm just going to try and stay quiet during this bit and just wait until the black guy actually just proves all his points wrong.
I was on the plantation getting down back then. Alright, look. I see a black man aiming his gun, but I'd rather see a black man claiming his son. And I don't mean just for one day and you done, I mean, you still trapped in a rut. And I work my ass off and pay my taxes for what? So you can keep living off free government assistance, food stamps for your children, but you still trying to sell them for some weed and some liquor or a fucking babysitter while you party on the road cause you ain't got no fucking goals? You already late. You motherfuckers need to get your damn priorities straight. Wait, it's like you're proud to be fake, but you lazy as fuck. And you rather sell drugs and get a job and be straight, and then you turn around and complain about the poverty rate. Fuck out of my face. You can't escape problems. You can pray for some change, but can't break a dollar. Got nobody else to...
It's just crazy that humans can have such different views on the world, such contrasting ways of thinking, and it's like this whole video is about like the division between these two views, and it's incredible how far separated people's ideologies can be. It's crazy.
Blame, so you blame Donald. They fucked the world with a Make America Great Kano. My boy's been back. I'm not racist. My sister's boyfriend's black. I'm not racist. My sister-in-law's baby cousin Tracey got a brother and his girlfriend's black. My head's in the cloud. Heard there's not enough jobs for all the men in your house. Maybe we should build a wall to keep the Mexicans out. Or maybe we should send them all to the ghetto for now. I'm not racist. And I never lied, but I think there's a disconnect between your culture and mine. I worship the Einsteins, studied the Steve Jobs.
That's the one thing he says in this that is true, and it's there's a disconnect between your culture and mine, and that is the thing. It's like there's such a massive disconnect in America, specifically, but all around the world, in terms of you have ethnic groups around the world and they can never seem to live side by side peacefully. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's like something in human psychology where we just have something where we dislike people that aren't like us, and it's really strange. But it's like there's something embedded in some people that just makes them hate anyone that's not like them. And yeah, there's a disconnect between your culture and mine. That's what it is. There's a massive disconnect between cultures. And yeah, I was watching Joe Rogan's podcast with Daryl Davis, who's that I admire that guy so much. If you don't know who he is, he's a black guy who basically converted over 200 KKK members. And when I was listening to him speak, the patience he had to just... He genuinely became friends with KKK members, and then over time just managed to make them realise the flaws in their system and make them become not racist. And that patience is something that's so important. And it's like, it's the hardest thing, because when you're talking to someone about something that just seems so ludicrous, when they think that black people are less than white people, when you're talking to someone about that, it's almost impossible to stay calm. But this guy just stayed calm and explained his points, and over time they just realised the truth. And I think that's something that could be of great value to society, is just people being very patient and finding the things that can bring them together, and then just, instead of shouting, and you just explain your points calmly, lead by example, and then maybe people will listen. But it's almost impossible to have that view and have that patience with people when there's things going on in the world that are, disconnect between your culture and mine. That's the one thing this guy that says that is the truth.
But you ride Tupac's dick like he was a fucking god, oh my god. And all you care about is rapping and stunting and being ratchet, and that's the nigga within you. Music rotting your brain and slowly start to convince you. Then you let your kids listen, and then the cycle continues. Blame it all on the menu, blame it on those drinks, blame it on everybody except for your own race. Blame it on white privileges, blame it on white kids, and just blame it on white citizens. Aim at the vice president. Bunch of class clowns. Niggas kneeling on the field, that's a flag down. How dare you try to make demands for this money? You gon' show us some respect.
Kneeling on the field, that I saw something. Who was it who posted it? I think it was Ayana Lee, you know, the person that was on KSI's album, on Killer Killer, which was a banger. And I followed her, and she posted something. It's like, when is the right way for black people to protest? Because every time they have protested, there's been something wrong with it. Like, black players kneeling on a football field, and that was the wrong way to protest, apparently. It's like, I don't understand some people's logic. That is the most peaceful, perfect way to protest, but that was still the wrong way to do it. And it's like, some people just look upon anything black people do as wrong, and they just dismiss it. Yeah. And it's like, there's definitely lots of people like this guy in this video. I know this is an exaggerated character, but there's such truth in this character right now, honestly. There's a lot of people like this, and there's a lot of people that aren't like this, but are still racist, because this is not what racism is. Racism is this, but it's also far deeper, and there's far more to racism than just hate. There's subtleties and, you know, stuff that you don't realise you're doing, which I've done in the past. I have, like, you do small little judgments and little subtle things without realising it as a white person, and I've been completely guilty of that in the past. You are, it's like, yeah, you don't realise that you're doing certain things, and then eventually, hopefully, people will get to the point where they go, oh shit, I'm being racist, and you're doing all these little things that can really ruin the way that you view the world. And it's important that white people recognise when they're doing those things, because that's how you stop yourself doing them. I'm just going to put this light on, actually, because it's a bit dark behind me. There we go, I think that's a bit lighter. Let's get back into this.
You gon' stand for this country, nigga. I'm not racist. I'm just prepared for this type of war. I heard Eminem's rap at the awards. Who's he fighting for? Y'all can take that motherfucker too. He ain't white no more. It's like you wanna be so famous.
There's a lot of that as well. I've heard lots of people say that when it's like, move that. But it's like, you're not white no more if you stand up for black people. Yeah. I find it amazing that JOYNER's managed to capture the reality of this, because it's like, he's managed to capture this character so well and explain it like he's that actual character. I think when I first heard this, it was my first time listening to JOYNER, and I thought JOYNER Lucas was the white guy, and I was like, what the fuck is this? And then, you know, you hear the second part. Yeah, this is a powerful song.
Famous, you'll do anything for attention and a little payment. I can't take you nowhere without people pointing fingers. Pants hanging off your ass, you ain't got no home training. Put your fucking pants up, nigga. Put that suit back on. Take that do-rag off. Take that gold out your mouth. Quit the pitiful stuff. And then maybe police and stop killing you fucks. Yo, what the fuck? I'm not racist. It's like we're living in the same building but split into 2 floors. I'm not racist. But there's 2 sides.
Facts. living in the same building, split into 2 floors. Big facts.
As every story, I wish that I knew yours. I wish that I knew yours.
Again, yeah, there's another thing this guy says that's good. It's like, I wish that I knew your story, and people need to have that attitude more. You need to, instead of just being angry at people, and that's what Daryl Davis did again. The guy on the Joe Rogan converted 200 KKK members. Instead of just, you know, meeting with them, this light is pissing me off now, I might switch this off. Instead of just meeting with KKK members and then getting really angry and just like shouting at them, he just said, tell me why you think these things, tell me why you think this stuff, and then I will explain to you why it's wrong. And it's just admirable, because it's so hard to not get angry at stuff like that, but if everyone could be like that, I think it would help a lot, because you just need to be accepting, understand someone else's point of view, and then calmly explain your points, and that's probably the only way you'll ever win an argument, because you can win an argument in terms of proving the other person wrong, but the real winning an argument about racism is making the other person not racist. And if you can accomplish that, I think the only way to accomplish that is being calm and presenting your points calmly and not getting angry, because the second you're in an argument and someone gets angry, you just want to prove them wrong and you want to, you just shout back, and it just becomes a shouting match, and that's never ever going to convert someone from being a racist to not being a racist. I think calm, civilised debates are probably the only way to move forward, but it's so hard.
I'm not racist. I swear. With all disrespect, I don't really like you white motherfuckers, that's just where I'm at. Screaming all lives matter is a protest to my protest. What kind of shit is that?
Okay, so first of all, saying I don't really like you white motherfuckers, it's like, as a white person, I don't like it when black people say that, but I completely understand it, because as a black person, all I can imagine is I can completely understand why you would have such a negative view of white people, but it's important to make the battle racists versus everyone, not blacks versus whites. It should be everyone against the racists, not black people against white people, because there is a lot of white people that are fighting for the Black Lives Matter movement and are genuinely on the right side of this. But it's understandable, honestly. It's understandable why lots of black people don't like white people in general. Because, yeah, it's understandable.
And that's one war you'll never win. The power.
And then screaming all lives matter is a protest to my protest. That's such an iconic line, and it's so perfect, because I heard this example on Instagram. It's like your dad has just died, and then I come to your funeral and put a picture of my dad who's died a year ago, and I say, all dead dads matter. It's like, yeah, but it doesn't matter. It's my dad's funeral. Why are you trying to, like, take away from my dad? And it's like, and then another one, it's like, what was it? It's like, my house is on fire, and then there's another guy down there, and it's like, my house is on fire, the firemen have come, they're putting all the water out, putting all the fire out, and then there's a guy down that street whose house isn't on fire, and he goes, wait, what are you doing? Why are you putting out his house and not mine? It's like, your house isn't on fire. And it's like, those are the metaphors that explain it so well. If anyone says all lives matter, please just fuck yourself. It's like, all lives do matter, but never use that as a protest, because it is a protest to the Black Lives Matter movement, and that's wrong.
And the word nigga is a different saying. We shouldn't say it, but we do, and that's just what it is. But that don't mean that you can say it just because you got nigga friends. Nigga. That word was originated for you to keep us under. That when we use it, we know that's just how we greet each other. And when you use it, we know there's a double meaning under. And even if I wasn't picking cotton physically, that don't mean I'm not infected by the history. My grandmama...
Look, it's an argument I've heard so many times from white people. When I used to make this argument, when I was like a few years back, when I was so ignorant, I used to make this argument. It's like, well, you can say the N-word, so why can't I? And it's like, it's the most ignorant argument in the world. Honestly, It's like the... First of all, it would be ideal if no one says it. I think that's the baseline. It would be ideal if no one says that word, because that word is the most disgusting word in the English language, but it's got a completely... It's a different meaning when black people say it. This is the only way I understand it, and it's the way that I've managed to grow to understand it, and it might not be the way all people understand the N-word, because it's such a personal thing to lots of black people, but the way I've kind of grasped it is when that's said by a black person, it has a completely different meaning, and it's almost like... It's like a thing that's shared by the black community as a power thing. And it's like, we've taken this word back and we've made it our own, and now it's a representation of black power and black culture. And that's why white people can't say it. Because if a white person says it, the connotations of that is so wrong. Yeah, it's hard to explain. It's something hard to explain, and I think a black person will be able to say this a lot easier than me, because it's very hard for me to put it into words, but I completely get it. I completely get it. Yeah. I used to have that view. I used to have the view that it's like, oh, well, black people can say it, so why can't white people say it? And then I've gradually, through education and watching things and just, yeah, I've just managed to realise that it's completely wrong for a white person to say the N-word.
Was a slave, that shit gets to me, and you ain't got no motherfucking sympathy, you pussy nigga. I'm sorry, you can never feel my life. Tryna have faith, but I never feel alright. It's hard to elevate when this country's ran by whites, judging me by my skin color and my blackness. Tryna find a job, but ain't nobody call me back yet. Now I gotta sell drugs and put food in my cabinet. You crackers ain't slick, this is all a part of your tactics. Don't talk about no motherfucking taxes when I ain't making no dough. You think you know everything, but you don't.
I love the music video to this. First of all, it's like this guy is gradually becoming more enlightened, and he's taken off his Make America Great cap now, and he eventually just becomes converted, and he realises his flaws, and it's like it's a gradual process, and he's taken off his cap now.
About no motherfucking taxes when I ain't making no dough. You think you know everything, but you don't. You wanna copy our slang and everything that we know. Try to steal black culture and make it your own. Whoa, fuck, I'm exhausted. I can't.
This is something I've kind of toyed with myself about. It's like, I think if you have any involvement in black culture in terms of listening to their music, you have to support every part of black culture. You cannot pick and choose. I was like, I want the music from the black culture, but I don't want to fight for racism, and I don't want to do any of that. It's like, you take one part, the music, and you take everything else, and that is the responsibility to fight and stand up for racism. And I think that's the only... And if you're a white person and you're listening to hip-hop and rap and drill and grime and everything, and you're not actively anti-racist, you shouldn't be listening to hip-hop and rap and grime and drill. You have to take every part of that culture. Yeah, and I thought, when people would use to make this argument, and it's like, I obviously listen to black music, and it's like, people make this argument, it's like, well, I'm just listening to music, whoa, I'm just listening to music. But it's like, no, it's far deeper than that, because that's black culture, but so many people in that industry have been taken advantage of, and that black culture has been taken away from black people almost. And I think if white people can do anything to support hip-hop and grime and music of black origin, then it's to also take everything else that comes with the black culture and support it. That's my opinion. I think if you're listening to music of black origin, you have to actively be anti-racist and stand up for black people.
Can't even drive without the cops trying to start shit. I'm tired of this systematic racism bullshit. All you do is false shit, this the shit that I'm false with. And you don't know shit about my people, that's what bothers you. You don't know about no fried chicken or no barbecue. You don't know about the two-step or no loose change. You don't know about no 2 chains or no Kool-Aid. You don't know. And even though Barack was half as black, you hated President Obama, I know that's a fact. You couldn't wait to get him out and put a cracker back. And then you gave us Donald Trump, and that was payback for that. I'm not racist. I never lied, but I noticed a disconnect between your culture and mine. Yeah, I praised Tupac like he was a fucking god. He was fighting for his life way before he fucking died. Nigga, die, nigga. And all you care about is money and power and being ugly, and that's the cracker within you. Hatred all in your brain and slowly start to convince you. Then you teach it to your children until the cycle continue. Blame it on Puerto Rico, blame it on OJ, blame it on everybody except for your own race. Blame it on...
Love the way he's using his own words against him. Blame it. It's like the white guy said this is blaming it on everyone except for your own race, when realistically white people are the people that is blaming it on everyone else except for their own race. White people need to take responsibility that our race has done terrible things and still does terrible things, and I think it's very important to just accept that, and we can't keep defending the white race because our race has done terrible things, and the most we can do is accept that and try and turn that around.
Black niggas and blame it on black citizens, aim at the black businesses. I ain't saying I'm innocent, but I might be any day now, treating everybody how you want in any way how. I swear North Korea about to bomb us any day now, and now I'm ducking every time I hear a fucking plane now. Shit. You know I make a lot of sense, but you just can't admit it. When Eminem went against Trump, that was the illest, cause even though he's white, he let us know he's standing with us. I'm not racist, but I cry a lot.
That's what white people need to do. They need to stand with the black community. And I know it's like I've felt before in the past, like, should I be standing up for this? Because it's like, does it look weird when a white person stands up for black rights? And it's like, that mindset is wrong. It's like, everyone needs to stand up for it. It should not be just black people standing up for it, because change only happens when those who aren't affected also take action. Because it's very easy for people to dismiss a movement like Black Lives Matters when it's only black people fighting for it, because like, that's when people like the guy sitting down here will just say, oh, they're just black people complaining, and they're playing the race card, blah 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 blah. But when there's white people behind it as well, it's harder to argue with. That's why it's so important that white people use their voices and use their privilege to make that movement so much stronger. Because I'm trying to not be patronising here, because it does sound like that, but honestly white people can add so much value to that movement, because once more white people get involved, then the white people that are racist might have a better view of it and think, well, if white people are also agreeing with this, then maybe there's some sense behind it. And yeah, as I said, I think change only happens when those who aren't affected take action.
Cause even though he's white, he let us know he's standing with us. I'm not racist, but I cry a lot. You don't know what it's like to be in a frying pot. You don't know what it's like to mind your business and get stopped by the cops. And I know if you about to die or not. You worry about your life, so you take mine. I love you, but I fucking hate you at the same time. I wish we could trade shoes, so we could change lives, so we can understand each other more, but that'll take time. I'm not racist. It's like we living in the same building, but split into both sides. I'm not racist, but there's two sides to every story, and now you know mine. Can't erase the scars with a bandage. I'm hoping maybe we can come to an understanding. Agree to disagree, we can have an understanding. I'm not racist.
Powerful video. It's a powerful video, powerful song. And then, I can't read this because he's put his Will Smith track here, which I never reacted to. I should have reacted to that. I think this is, we are all humans, race disconnects us, religion separates us, politics divides us, and wealth classifies us. Yeah, that's a powerful song, and I feel like that's so applicable to everything that's going on right now, and I hope that everyone has already heard this, and if you haven't, go and listen to it several times so you fully understand the meaning. Yeah, look at the comments there. Over 2 years later, and people are still not getting it. There's so many people who... I'm not gonna lie, when I first heard this song, I heard it back when it came out, which is like 3 years ago. I was a very different person 3 years ago. And when I first heard this, I was like, whoa, is this, it felt like an attack. And I think lots of white people can feel like that. And what was that, Dave's track, Black, as well. When I first heard that, that is one of my, I idolised that track. That track is so perfect, and that's one of my favourite tracks ever. And it just made Dave go up so much more in my ratings. But when I first heard that, when I didn't really get it, and I was like, oh, it feels like an attack on white people, and I think lots of white people do feel like that. I now realise that it's not at all, and it's completely not an attack on white people, and it's, this is a Stormzy lyric from Crown, and this hit me as well. It's like, that's not anti-white, it's pro-black. And that's something I think lots of white people can struggle to understand, is when something's pro-black, it doesn't mean it's anti-white. But I feel like a lot of the time, white people, when they hear something pro-black, will just go, whoa, that's anti-white, it's an attack on me, oh, sorry, what have I done, what have I done, what have I done? And I feel like it's something we need to realise that is... Yeah, we need to realise that when something is pro-black, it's not anti-white. And white people also need to be pro-black. You shouldn't just be pro your race, you should be pro humanity. That sounds so cringy, doesn't it? Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna end this video here. Let me know what you thought of this in the comments, like if you enjoyed the video. And yeah, I don't know if this will be, I might do more reactions to songs about this. I might do one to Dave Black, because that's another track that has a lot of meaning and a lot of significance right now. But yeah, I might do that, or I might do a normal reaction soon if I can, you know, think about anything else apart from this, but this has honestly been on my mind. So I wanted to make more videos about this. Yeah, like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe. I do US and UK based music content, and I will see you guys in the next video.